So this question is a diagram question. We have this geometrical figure provided for us. Looking at this figure, I can tell that these two angles are equal to each other because of vertical angles, and that's really all I can tell about it. The question says that in the figure shown, line segment GE and line segment DH intersect at point F. We see that. Which of the following additional statements are sufficient to prove that triangle DEF is similar to triangle HGF, right? So we have these two statements that we need to determine whether they're sufficient on their own to prove similarity. Well, how do you prove similarity? Similar triangles will always have congruent angles and proportional sides, right? Proportional sides. But it's the combination of both of those things, right? It can't be just one or the other. So which of the following additional statements is sufficient to prove that? So statement 1 says the length of DE is 1/3 the length of HG. Well, if I know that this is 1/3, in fact, let's not even make it fractional. Let's say if I know that GH or HG is, let's say 9, then that would mean that DE is 3. So is that statement enough to prove that these two triangles are similar? No, they're not, right? Because it doesn't give me this information about the congruent angles, right? Knowing those side lengths tells me nothing about the congruent angles. So this is gone. Statement 2, DE is parallel to HG. Okay, well, if DE is parallel to HG, then that opens up some parallel line geometry where we have parallel lines and transversals. And if you recall from learning that in school, whenever you have parallel lines with a transversal, one of the types of angles that you can create are something called alternate, and hopefully you can see it, alternate interior, right, angles, right? So angle H and angle D are alternate interior, angle G and angle E are alternate interior. And if we put that together with what we could see here from the fact that these are vertical angles, that does, right, like that does check the box for the interior angles being all congruent. So 2 is good. So answer choice A says 1 is sufficient. We know that's not the case. Choice B says 2 is sufficient, but 1 is not. I like that one. C says 1 is sufficient. We know that's not the case. And D says neither 1 nor 2 is sufficient. We also know that's not the case because 2 did give us some very good information. So the answer here must be choice B.